is OverDrive with Hayes, Noodles, and the O-Dog on TSN 1050.
All right, here we go. OverDrive off and running. TSN 1050 on the TSN app. Your home smart speaker up on TSN 4, up on YouTube Live. Brian Hayes, the O-Dog, Jeff O'Neill, Jamie Noodles, MacKinnon.
What's going on today?
What's going on? How are we feeling?
Guys, let's make a new rule for the media in Toronto. Only 2 people per game or practice. And then, in the future, it'll be no one's fault in the media why someone doesn't perform. I am sickened by the goings-on, and I know we got a bunch of stuff to get into, but the goings-on out in that Vegas-Anaheim series with the goons and some people that I've known and respected for a long time that say Mitch Marner is just doing what he's doing out in Vegas because the Toronto media is not bothering him, or we were the reason that he didn't get it done. Just look at the results. He went out and put his jersey on and played hockey in this city for this team and didn't get the results. They didn't get it done. He was a part of it. That's all I know. Now he's leading the playoffs
16
in
points. 7 in his last 2 games.
I just don't know why it can't be. Good for him. Great for him. All the things you can point to. Most importantly, maybe the team around him. Maybe him himself. But to drag it back to the Toronto media being the reason why things didn't happen here is completely insane. And if you have that thought process, you need to be arrested. Arrested.
That's extreme.
Well, it is a bit extreme.
It's
How about
extreme.
this?
Go ahead.
Plays for a different team. That's what it is. Like it's not the media's fault. It's not the fans' fault. He plays for a different team. There's a different leadership group there. There's a different culture. There's a different expectation. That's the way I look at it. And he's had a great playoffs.
I'm happy for the guy, Jamie, but I just don't know why it's turned into. Why can't it just be he's playing awesome? Why does it always? Because Hayes has always brought it up. People just love bringing Toronto. They love dragging Toronto back into the equation.
Yeah,
I just find it quite sickening. So either fold the team or just only have 2 people covering it, and then fold the team, Jamie. Fold the team.
Well, yeah.
If it's just too hard to play here, and I don't know why, a guy walking around with his notepad and asks you some questions, can there be some stupid stuff about, you did this on the bench or you had a hot dog, whatever. But to just blame it on that, and I've told you guys before, I messaged Steve Simmons one time because I was retired and I was eating breakfast. And by the way, me and Steve are friends now. We have been for a long time. And I sent him an email because I was included in one of his blogs about I just told him off. And he simply responded, "You are the one that went out and played the games the way you did, Jeff." End of email. And it took years for that to marinate in my brain. And then finally one day you wake up and you're like, he's right. I am the guy that went out there, and I have no one to look at but myself. Go ahead, Brian Hayes.
Well,
yes, go ahead,
I think, there's a lot to get into here. I find, the city is and the fan base in Toronto, it has been a wild couple of weeks. And
wild.
It is an example of why this place, is so big and so great, in my opinion. But also there's a lot of ebbs and flows. Right, where I can't tell you the amount of people that were not talking about Marner. I didn't have anyone really asking me about Marner all weekend, and I was in rinks, and I was all around town, out for dinners, and I got a lot of things to tell you guys about my deal yesterday.
Love it.
But I was getting way more. Do you think
dinners.
they take McKenna? Is McKenna the guy? What do you think of McKenna? What do you make of Chaika? Who is this guy? What kind of role does Sundin play? Like the Leafs had a trifecta last week of hiring a new GM, winning the lottery, and then rumors about their captain's future. Like, you can't top that. It didn't matter what else was going on in the world. Leaf fans, I found, were more encapsulated with that. I think the Marner stuff, some Leaf fans are – this is an example of where there's usually 3 avenues for any fan that's watching the team and has been a fan of this team for a long time and trying to put their finger on what is wrong with the team. there is a portion of the fan base that thinks it's the market, which means the media and the crazy fans and all that kind of stuff, where people just simply can't perform here, right? Even though the Blue Jays can perform and the Raptors can perform and the Leafs 20 years ago could perform to a certain extent, yes, those people are going to look at Mitch Marner with 16 points where he's been on fire. He looks great, and say that's the reason why it didn't work for Mitch. Another avenue is looking at the team and the culture, and I think there's something to that, right? Like, this is a testament to Vegas. Vegas has high expectations. Yep. It's not just Mitch on a marquee. He's one of 18 guys going on the ice, right? And they expect everyone to play a certain way and everyone to contribute, and if you don't, you are going to be asked to leave, literally. If you don't pull your weight in Vegas, they will say, thank you for what your contract says. We don't accept that. You're leaving. You're not going to be a part of this.
Even if it's early on in your tenure.
Absolutely. And the reality is, in Toronto, it was the core for this and core for that, and everything was hyper-focused on those players, and a lot of that was internal because they were treated differently by management and by ownership and by the coaching staff. And then the third avenue is just actually looking at the player, and this is kind of where I come in. And I think all of it can contribute in a certain way, but he is writing a new chapter. It doesn't erase the ones he's already written. He wrote 9 chapters here in Toronto. He played here for 9 years. Never had a hat trick, right? I don't recall the last time he had 3 points in a game. I'm sure it's happened before in the playoffs. It doesn't erase it because of what he's doing in Vegas. Credit to him. He's playing exceptionally well. It's 2-2 in the second round. Let's also clarify that, right? It was 2-2 against Florida this time last year. A lot of games left. They've played Utah and Anaheim. Not exactly Boston in their prime, Florida in their prime, Tampa in their prime, right? It hasn't been nasty. I haven't seen anyone looking at him saying, I'm going to go punch him in the head and just see how he reacts. He had to deal with that more when he was in the Atlantic. We'll see what happens in the future. But he deserves all the credit in the world for the way he's playing. He's been outstanding. He's a great player. He was a great player when he was a Leaf. He's a great player now as a Golden Knight. But you can't – it's not revisionist history. The facts are the facts. They didn't flush him out after 2 or 3 years here and say, get out, you didn't cut it. They played here for 9 years, and he left. And by all accounts, he chose to leave a year or two before he even became a free agent. Go talk to Mitch about that. Don't talk to other people. Ask him why he didn't play better in Game 7 against Florida. I don't know the answer to that. He does. He can tell you that. Why he didn't play better, that's the reality.
You're like Keith Pelly. You spoke to different people.
Well, again, I think there's a lot of – it's
advisors.
amazing the positivity in the city, though, I find
people.
right now. I don't know where you guys are living, but I find Leaf fans – are alive again. They're like, first overall pick. Let's see where this is going. Now, things can change, clearly, but winning the lottery last week was a real spark.
Yeah, I think Leaf fans are getting resuscitated like Noodles when I had the steak sandwich on the panel, and I don't think they're alive yet. They've opened one eye.
Well, okay. I think
they've opened one eye with the possibility of another one opening up very soon. They're not fully alive yet.
Okay.
Because the same conversations, Brian, I had over the weekend, same type of thing. You get you know what it is? It's piqued their interest. I gotta be honest. From February on, people were done with this
team. It was awful.
Right? Like, just done.
Awful.
Like, you're like, wake me up. Like, now they're not making the playoffs. And there was just this. Brian, you've described it. There was just this, like,
a malaise.
Yeah, like people are like, and I'm done with them. I don't care. Like, what happened this past week is the interest is back. Now, where I'll stop you, where you thought, I still think that people are excited about the first overall pick, and why shouldn't you be? It's first overall pick.
There's nothing negative about that.
Nothing negative.
Nothing.
But what now is the question is, what do you think this striker can do? That's what I got all over the weekend.
Yep. Sure.
What is this guy all about? What do you think he can do? And then thirdly, half the fan base is like already trade Matthews. They've already got a trade cooked up. And the other half is like, well, hold on a second here. You keep him and you could do. So now they're deciding what the roster's going to look like with Matthews and without. So I don't know if that's excitement or it's more just people are like, what does this look like now?
Yeah,
well, exactly.
They've
woken up. Yes, there's a pulse. I don't know if it's negative or positive because people are like,
this is proof that it is fickle and there will be ebbs and flows, right? It will come and go. As for Matthews, I'm curious I'd love to know what he thinks of watching Marner play the way he's playing. And Mitch is on the second line down there, right? Like it's still Eichel's team and Stone's team, and
of course.
But Mitch is contributing greatly, and I'm curious if we expect to hear from Matthews at any point. I don't think he has an obligation to speak. He spoke on his way out, right? But it is getting a little bit crazy here without really knowing exactly what the guy is thinking and what is going to happen with him in the future.
Do you not think that we'll hear from him in September and that's it? Like unless something crazy happens, like unless you're right, like unless it gets leaked out that he's asked to be moved or he's not going to extend all of that. I think the next time we hear from Austin, now I could be wrong. Maybe if he's on board with McKenna, he shows up at the draft and he's on the stage with them or something like that. But I just, you guys knowing, Austin Matthews been around, 9 years?
10 years now, yeah.
10 years. What of what you've learned from him over the last decade speaks to that he's just going to go, hey, you know what? I'm going to call into OverDrive and tell people my thoughts, or I'm going to put out a statement like Connor McDavid did. He's not wired that way.
Not his MO. Yeah, you're right. It's probably not.
Or he would have done it, Jamie. I've said it about all these guys, whether it be Matthew Tkachuk or Austin Matthews or Yossi or Werenski. Like, they're the ones that have put the situation where it's at. Like, they could easily come out and say, whether it be a tweet on your back porch in Arizona, Leaf fans, just to let you know, my intention is to be a Leaf my whole career. And if you don't say that, people are just going to wonder. And they're wondering, and that's the reason that we're here. And if you don't say anything or don't address it yourself, I think Brady could have – he kind of addressed it, but not really. You hear a bunch of different things. And until the player actually comes out, not through an agent going through reporters, the player himself saying, this is what I want to do. Nobody will know, and in this market, in this country, people are going to speculate until their eyes are just blue.
Yeah, because we're talking about the biggest players, right?
Sure,
the most popular
marquee names.
But at least Brady came back and said, that's never come out of my mouth. I don't know why I'm committed to the organization. Like, he said that. Like, I watched that press conference. Like, he didn't. He said that's on the internet. That's not what I've said. But
you know what, Jamie? Until it actually had, like Quinn Hughes a bunch of times last year was like,
agreed.
I'm a Vancouver Canuck and I'm the captain and this and that, and then sure enough, it was like, I'm not signing here, so get me out of here.
Yeah, I agree. You can have lip service 100%. My point is like, Austin Matthews is never, he just does his media. He moves on. Like, that's just how they are. There's certain guys who are understand that, hey, I feel like this is going to be out there, so I'm going to address it. With Austin Matthews, we saw end of the year, William Nylander, 90 seconds. See you later. I'll see you.
Not going to say anything
later.
significant.
See you in September.
Dropping the mic. Just out of here.
People are different, and not everybody is a rock star in the media. Not everybody has that. And quite honestly, until Austin Matthews is under contract for the next 2 years, there's a lot of speculation. But in his mind, he's like, I'm working out. I'm ready for next year. Like, that's,
and Jamie, we talked about that last week. Like, this is the new world where it's like,
right?
There used to be a day where it would be like the trade deadline of your last year of your contract. You might have the conversation if your team's not doing well. Now this stuff is going on, and the speculation and everything that goes along with it happens 2 years out. It sucks for the fan base, but that's just the reality of what we're living in right now.
Yeah,
I agree.
No, that's the truth. And listen, we'll see what happens with Vegas, right? They're off. They're back in action tomorrow, and that series is tied 2-2. That Anaheim team, they've got some really good young players.
Good on them, man. Good on them for coming back.
Absolutely. And listen, all the series are outside of Carolina, Philly, that just ended in a sweep, and Carolina still hasn't lost. They're 8-0, which is incredible.
Man, oh, man.
The other series are, 2-2, 2-1, 2-1, right? Habs up 2-1, Colorado up 2-1. Minnesota sent a big message the other night. So
how about those buildings, guys?
They look awesome.
Buffalo and Montreal. Montreal looked like that place the roof was just going to blow right off last night. And Like, they've had a couple decisive victories here. They played very, very well. I think Buffalo's got more, and they need adjustments. But, man, this Habs team, they got a little bit of something every night, right? If it's not one guy, well, it's the goalie stands on his head. And, like, they just have a little bit of magic there, and you need depth scoring. This New Hook's all of a sudden got
two more goals, and, Josh Anderson's been great.
I wouldn't be shocked if they move on from the Lion King and put Pukka Luukkonen back in.
Yeah, but it's
well,
not.
Look
it hasn't
at
been him.
Colorado. They're going to Blackwood tonight.
Yeah,
I mean, I think they put the Lion King in and Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. He replaced him. I think they might go. I wouldn't not be shocked if for the next game, Sabres Habs, Luukkonen skates out on the ice and is their guy in net.
I don't disagree with you because we have this conversation all year. There's 7 or 8 guys who are never coming out of the net no matter what, if they shot it into their own net the previous game. Mm-hmm. But the rest is a tandem situation, and it's like, who do we feel like we're going to? It was UPL that started the playoffs, then Lion came in. Same, you might go back to it. The difference, we talked about it, going into the playoffs for Dobish. How short is his leash going to be because you've got the next Carey Price sitting on the bench? This Dobish hasn't given him an opportunity. Well,
yep.
Twice he's had where I've seen it on Jay's show. I think you may have talked. Are they thinking about replacing Dobish, all of that?
Oh.
I don't remember giving that take. It's possible.
It might have been. But the point being,
get the audio.
No, it might have been Marty. I may have thrown you under the bus. But the point being is, they've stuck with him. But that still was a tandem situation this year. Same thing in Colorado. It was Wedgwood that was great, but now he stumbled. They go to Blackwood. Like, unless you have a clear-cut one, I can see, they went to Gustafsson, Wallstead came back in.
Yeah.
Like, you're seeing that now.
Well, it's interesting that, you look at all the goalies left. Obviously, Freddie Anderson has been perfect, and he has a longer leash today than he would have a few weeks ago. But I don't think that's a guarantee, like all the way to a Stanley Cup, that Freddie is the man there. And I'll be curious to see what Buffalo ends up doing. But what I have been not taken aback by, because I'm not overly surprised, but what this kind of playoff run has illustrated and really highlighted for me is how many great defensemen there are playing in this playoff run. Like Lane Hudson put on an absolute clinic last night at the Bell Center. Quinn Hughes the night before in Mini was unbelievable. And Makar is great. Jackson Lacombe has been great for Anaheim. Obviously, Slavin has been very, very effective and very good. Like, there are so many stud number one defensemen still playing. Darlene, obviously, as well. I mean, you look at it like between
Byram.
Yes, I mean, like, it's like Vegas. I don't know if they have a true number one anymore.
Theodore.
Probably, yeah. But I think between him and Hannafin and Anderson, like, they got a pretty good 3-pack there.
Yeah, that guy in Carolina, Slavin, I would say he is their guy, but he just does business in a different way.
Totally different.
Agreed.
Completely affects the game in the positive, but it just looks different. It's not the offensive. But if you watch that guy shift in and shift out, and hopefully we'll get Roddy Brindamore on soon, and he can describe how good this guy is. But even the game-winning goal the other night, he intercepted that pass and stopped it right in the neutral zone, and then they went back the other way. He does that all night long. He is so good. So good.
Yeah, he's a phenomenal player.
Yeah. But I do agree, like, you want to go anywhere?
Every team's got one or two.
Yeah.
Faber and
Faber and
Hughes. You got to.
Every team's got minimum one rock star, maybe two. That's what we're looking at here. That's the crazy part.
It's just like, Jamie, when we played, Nick Lidstrom was out on the ice, who, by the way, someone posted a video of just a garbage hit I made on him in the Stanley Cup Finals. They should have been suspended for 5 games. Terrible.
Oh, he turned on you at the last second.
But just think about, you go to Anaheim back in the day when Chris Pronger and Scott Niedermayer were a deep pairing, and you could throw them both out, combinations. They're basically going to be out on the ice 45 minutes of the 60. Do you know how much that positively impacts your team? Quinn Hughes, 30 minutes a night. Cale Makar, 30 minutes a night. Rowensky, 30 minutes. Like, it just Slavin, 25, defensive stalwart. It's like, it's such a positive impact. And it's like everybody said about Lindstrom, he controls the whole game. controls and you don't know really what that means until you watch them play. How he just has the puck and he's feeding it to the forwards, he's stopping plays, and he just controls the whole pace of the game. Chris Pronger, another example. Jamie was in net when the guy was on defense. Controlled the pace of the game. Stop defensively, move the puck up, join the play, run the power play. It's such an impact on a game through 60 minutes. It's crazy how much it impacts a team.
I had Pronger and McInnes. We won the President's Trophy in '99. Those were the two. Mark Bergevin was the three. And Todd Reardon, your boy, was kind of the four, technically. You know, he's
what was the salad like back in that day?
Full salad back in the day.
Really?
Absolutely.
Well,
30 years ago, 25 years ago.
30 years ago. We got to find me an action photo or a photo of Todd Reardon in 1999 playing for the St. Louis Blues. Monster. I think it was 98 or 99.
He was a big, lanky.
6'7", 6'8". Him and Pronger were partners, and I think it was Alan Bergevin. Like that. You talk about it, though. I got sidetracked. It's these D. That's the game now. That's you got to be able to move the puck. You got to have somebody who can move the puck and distribute from the back.
I talked to Kevin Adams in Buffalo. I obviously know the guy. Just talking the last couple of years, it's like it's got to start from the back end and out. Obviously, if you land one of the Tage Thompsons or Austin Matthews or Star, but that back end, you look at the back end he's got there, or he built there in Buffalo with Owen Power, Darlene, like it just. They traded for that Kesserling, Bowen Byram. It just goes on. And they got that big Stanley there as like a trade deadline acquisition. Yeah. It's an impressive decor. That Samuelson. It's never ending.
I felt bad for that Connor Timmins last night. I thought he should have taken his gear off because he was having a tough go.
I'll tell you what, I don't know how
too at the end of the
that
game.
Mallenstein running over that goaltender. I thought that was a deliberate. I think it was Dreg saying he might have tried to go up and over to it. I thought he tried to run the goaltender. And for him to only get 2 minutes, I'm sorry, Sabres fans. I thought this was a 5-minute major to some degree where he should have been thrown out of the hockey game. I like tough hockey. I like, the stuff after the whistle, but I thought he could have really injured the goalie there. I thought that was malicious, and I thought it deserved more than 2 minutes. I don't know what you guys thought of it.
It was close.
Ugly.
You know what? Anytime a goaltender gets touched, I don't like it. And especially, there were times where either the defenseman pushes you in. He was going hard. They know exactly what they're doing. Oh, you know what? You're going hard to the blue paint.
Yeah,
he did try to elevate
purpose.
over. Yeah, I thought he tried to push up over a little bit, but it doesn't matter. You still had the contact, and that could have been ugly because Dobush, stayed down. What if a spotter goes, "You're out for 15 minutes," and Buffalo scores 3 in that?
No kidding. And that's why I thought, Hazy, be the ref. If you were the ref, Brian Hayes, go to the penalty box and make the official call from your end.
He's
no,
two.
Hang on.
Probably 2.
Hang on. You got to announce it to the crowd. Number 29, Buffalo. Go ahead.
Yeah, 2 minutes goaltending interference. I listen, because the thing is, Dobush is shifting to the right.
You not just hear what I just said?
Yeah, I agree with you that the impact was it really was.
Yes,
he
have to protect the goalie,
smoked them, but Dobush is going kind of post to post, and he's tied up, and if you watch,
you're
Dobush
telling
is moving.
me the goalie, oh my God!
But I hear you. It's tough. It's a fast game, and I'm of the belief he's going across, and he's already kind of committed to far post.
There's only one angle that I thought maybe softened it to 2 for me, and you see him. He kind of launches up. He sees it the last second. I think he knows he's going to contact the goaltender. Either way, Dobush is
He's getting mouthy, man. Benson was going at him yesterday, and he's going back at them. It's getting fiery in that series.
The guy has been awesome, but there's things that you do out there where it's amazing, but you feel like, it might come back to bite you when you're having an off night or whatever like that. Dobush, he does the old pumpernickel after every goal into the corner, and I'm like, man, oh man, the confidence in him, it's amazing. I just never, I don't see it that way. I just kind of would have stood
about your
in the
business.
net.
Just for clarification from an esteemed official, could have been a 5-minute interference penalty. 2 minutes for roughing for Montreal. It's a 3-minute power play, and most parties are happy with that.
Okay.
Easily.
But that's not
called.
5 in a game, is it? Or is it just 5?
No, it's 5-minute interference. You're not thrown out of the game.
Okay.
I think that would have been more than...
I could live with that.
He said could. Could have been.
Exactly. Not overly decisive.
Should.
Should is very different. Very
could
different.
or should, but yeah, I listen. You know me. I like to protect the goaltenders. I didn't think I agree. The goaltender slid into it, and I think he saw him at the last second and tried to lighten it, but he still ran the goalie.
He still buried him. There's no question about that. But Dobish's okay. The Habs are fine. Habs up 2-1 in the series. Game 4 tomorrow. Marty Biron will join us. Maybe it was Marty that was saying weird stuff about Dobish. So we'll catch up with Marty just after 5. Keegan up later this hour. Weird weekend again for the Jays. They take 2 of 3, but now Barger comes back for 1 game, back in the IL with elbow inflammation. Yeah, it's not good.
Tough.
And Vladdy again, a really tough weekend, a really tough day yesterday.
Dude, I think he's got 2 ribbies in 10 games.
Well, he's got single-digit extra base hits, and we're 40 games into the season. He's got 2 home runs and 7 doubles. He's not even close either. Some of his at-bats yesterday were terrible at-bats.
It's Louis Domingue right now.
That one where he went
really
reaching for it and grounded out was just come on, dude.
Yeah, he's not in a good place.
Not the best.
So Keegan on that and more with the Rays in town, and the Rays are on fire, and we just saw what happened last week in Tampa. So big series coming up starting at the Dome tonight. Keegan in about 25 minutes. OverDrive continues. TSN 1050 and on TSN 4.
NTT IndyCar Series lives on TSN and TSN Plus.
Now, back to Overdrive with Hayes, Noodles, and the O-Dog.
All right, Overdrive continues, powered by FanDuel, bringing you more ways to play your game your way. Keegan, Matheson in about 10 minutes from the Rogers Center. Jays race tonight. Eric Lauer designated for assignment. Addison Barger on the 10-day IL. Jays took 2 of 3 over the weekend. They're at the 40-game mark, 18-22 on the season. So catch up with Keegan in just a bit. Happy Mother's Day, belated to all the mothers out there yesterday. Hopefully everyone had a great day. I was grinding, and I made an executive decision, and I made the right one because I'm fighting a bit of a cold here.
Yeah.
And yesterday morning, I woke up, and you know when it kicks in, like you get up and you're like, I'm in trouble here.
Yeah.
You don't have the Hanta, do you?
I don't. Not that I'm aware of. I haven't been on any cruise ships, anywhere in the Mediterranean. So I think I'm okay.
Yeah.
But you just can't do it. Like it's the one day of the year you got to shut up and just grind, because if you drop I'm not feeling great right now.
Dude, if you say I got to just chill on the couch for a bit and pull that.
Depends on the day you have planned, right? If you were just going to spend it as a family and just chill and hang around the yard, maybe a nice breakfast or go for lunch as a group or whatever, then you can get away with it. If you've got a busy day, or she's got something laid out, or you were supposed to, your girls have something laid out, we're taking mom here, we're doing this.
That's right.
And you are in tow, and you are in one the whole time.
And I am proud of myself because I didn't say a peep. I just said, I'm up. Let's do it. We're doing breakfast in bed this morning because the girls love doing that. And then we're going for dinner. We had stuff during the day. But, man, did I lay it on thick this morning when I got up. Like, it was 2 days of, not feeling great. Just going to find a way to grind here. But it worked out. It was a beautiful Mother's Day, and I hope everyone got to celebrate yesterday. Crazy stuff going on in the golf world. We got to recap our picks from the Truist. But there was some wild stuff going on every tour yesterday. But we're into PGA Championship week as well, right? Big week, and big week of picks because the big boys are coming out to play. As we know, this is
By the way, I didn't like your
week.
remark on the weekend you sent via text saying, and I'm not afraid to share this because it's a bit of a sewer job, but you said Fitzy's brother choking was a lock.
Yeah, and I wouldn't say he choked in the end because he did in the front 9 yesterday,
dude,
and then he actually got it back together.
He had the whiskey mitts on the greens like he was.
Think about how nervous you would be if you're Alex Fitzpatrick. He has stuffed like $3 million plus in his jeans over the last 3 weeks.
Dude, he's a lock for signature events, majors, all of it. Like, he's dialed in.
Yeah, it's a great story, but he had the outright lead going into yesterday.
Yes,
and
he
could not
doubled
close.
early, he doubled again, and it cost him the golf tournament.
Yeah, so none of us ended up picking Christopher Rattan from Norway, but credit to him. It was a big win, and they're all going to be at the PGA this week, and the Golf Report is driven by Subaru. It's the all-weather drive main event. Get uncommon value at your local Subaru dealer where spring weather doesn't stand a chance. So more on the picks later this week, a recap of what happened yesterday. Jays again in action tonight, and this kind of Eric Lauer story is, I think, a perfect example of how when you turn the page on a new year, like you got 40 games tops, right?
Yeah.
You got about 25% of the season.
Yeah.
Because he was such a great story for them last year. He basically saved their rotation during the middle part of the season last year when they had injuries and Scherzer wasn't around and guys weren't pitching well, and they plucked him and they put him in the rotation, and he pitched great. And he was a consistent arm that put up really good numbers. And then they got to the playoffs, and he was a guy that came out of the bullpen and pitched well. Remember, I think it was Game 3 of the World Series that really, obviously they ended up losing that game. Brendan Little ended up losing that game. But he gave him, I think, 3 or 4 innings and extra innings in L.A. in Game 3 and was great. And everyone's
there's no other
positive.
There's no other way to describe what he was doing. Is like his delivery looked tired. Like he just had to look like he had nothing on it, and it was just getting hit all over the place. Was it not?
Well, his numbers are incredibly bloated, and they tried the opener thing and then bring him in, and they basically just said, we're not going back to the bullpen yesterday. You're pitching. But his numbers they haven't been good. Some of the stuff he said in the press hasn't been great.
Yeah.
No.
Well, he hated the opener thing. He's like, I can't stand it. I'm being honest with you. And it's almost like it put him in a mental
bad spot.
frame of mind where it was just like, I don't know, but it's no longer.
Well, that's the thing. If you're like a kind of sixth man in a rotation, you kind of just got to do whatever you're told.
Just chew it.
Yeah, exactly.
Just play, man.
Exactly.
Just play.
Exactly. Like Gosman and Cease, those guys can say different things. Obviously, Scherzer gets preferential treatment because of who he is.
Yeah.
Eric Lauer is not getting that. And if your manager says you're coming in the third inning or the fourth inning, then so be it. And you better pitch well, because if not, you're going to get designated for assignment. And that's exactly what happened. And it sucks for him, but I guess that's what I'm getting to is 40 games in, that's enough now. You're never taking away the 25 season, ever. It'll be revered forever. All those guys are going to be fan favorites. 10 years from now, they'll be coming back to the park and getting standing ovations. 15 years from now, and they deserve it. But now the page is turned, and there's no more sentimental value, right? Great.
Yeah.
What you did in 25 doesn't work anymore. You're out. See you later. We got to move in a different
included.
direction.
It's like you
Vladdy's taking a lot of heat from people and deserves it. He's been terrible at the plate.
Yeah, terrible. Now officially,
Yeah.
his World Series performance is over.
Yeah, exactly.
It is.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't leave the history books.
Dude, I get it.
But we're not
people
playing the
have
Yankees
moved-
anymore.
They move on to
Exactly.
reality in present time, where it's like, what are you doing for me lately? And it's not
Exactly.
good.
Well, look
It's
at the
not
numbers Judge is putting up. They're insane what Aaron Judge is doing.
Just following it up every year.
Every year, leading the league in home runs and RBI and runs, scored, and just
Doesn't
everything.
blink. Doesn't blink.
Does not blink, does not stop. All right, we'll head to the park and catch up with Keegan on a big series with Tampa in town. Marty Biron coming up in about 20 minutes on what the Sabres are going to do to try to get back in the series, down 2-1, Game 4 tomorrow night. You got Minnie playing Colorado tonight, looking to tie that series up, so we'll catch up with Marty on that and more. NBA playoffs continuing. It's PGA Championship week. OverDrive continues up on YouTube Live.
with Hayes, Noodles, and the O-Dog.
Don't sweat the technique.
All right, Marty Biron coming up. We'll get to something to chew on, brought to you by Boston Pizza as well. Recap our golf picks from the week. And we only got one game in the Stanley Cup playoffs tonight. Big one, though, Minnesota, Colorado. We might have to address that Nathan MacKinnon video that went viral over the weekend.
What, the Scuba Steve?
Scuba Steve with his flippers.
The flippers and the mask on.
Dude, that guy's ahead of the game. Whatever he's doing, I guarantee you, he didn't tell Cale Makar to throw some pennies in the pool and he was going to go find them. There was a method behind that madness where
I know.
He's not looking for eggshells down there.
Look at this guy. Like, that's a grown adult, a 30-year-old.
Yeah. But they see some of his teammates are chirping him. They look like they're, like, chirping him there. But the tweet was funny, like, we better not lose to this guy or something, whatever that tweet that went viral. I thought it was pretty funny.
Well, yeah,
that guy is like
Wild fans, right, that are like,
apparently
what is this
he uses,
guy doing?
like, the hotel swimming pools on the road, like, massive, heavy weightlifting before games, before warm-up, like –
yeah.
That guy, no, whatever he's doing, it's not like...
No, you're right. There's a method to the madness.
Yeah, there's not a treasure chest at the bottom of that.
It's a great workout. I don't personally partake, but swimming...
Dude,
like you can...
I wouldn't wear the flip and a goggle as just a dad. Like, I'm not doing that.
It's crazy behavior to pack that stuff on the road and
Imagine
pull your flippers
security,
out.
Mr. MacKinnon pulled the flips out.
Yeah. Like, and does he put them on in the pool, or is he walking through the hotel lobby in his flippers? Like, that's the type of behavior I think we might be talking about here.
I don't know, man.
That's wild stuff.
We got to get into that later.
We will. All right. We'll see if Marty's ever partaken in any of that kind of stuff in about 20 minutes. Yeah. Jays Rays tonight, and it's a big series. The Rays are red hot. They just took 2 of 3 with a postponement down at Fenway, and we know what happened last week down at the Trop. Here's Keegan Matheson at MLB.com. Feels like a big one. I know it's a long season. There's 122 games left, but we've hit the 40-game mark here. We're 25% of the way through this season. Feels like a big series, doesn't it, Keegan?
It does. You're chasing the Rays. You know, I don't think there's a such thing as a small divisional series, guys, especially – now that you're playing fewer divisional games. You know, you're not playing 19 of these each season anymore. And if the Blue Jays are going to pull this off and make us talk about them in late September, they are going to be trying to chase down the Rays. And I know that in this market we focus mostly on the Yankees because to most Blue Jays fans, the Yankees are big brother. And you're still trying to chase them even with how last year went. The Rays are really damn good. And they are back to being that like annoying team that you don't hear about much because we're not going to talk about the Rays nationally in the U.S. or anything, but you're going to look up and they're going to be there. So this is one where they need to get some sort of momentum. You can't keep hovering around 3, 4, 5 games below 500, but they're facing good pitching, man. The Rays are a real test.
Keegan, have you ever been able to put your finger on it, why the Rays have been such a complete pain in the ass over the last, I don't know, what is it, a decade? Like whatever it is, what is it about them that makes the Jays roll their eyes whenever they go down to the Trop or they're coming to attack? Because it's been dreadful for about 90% of it, watching it over the years. What is the deal with these guys?
Yeah, and last year was, I feel like, the one outlier. Because last year, the Blue Jays played kind of Rays-style baseball, which is airtight, clean baseball, and you make the other team screw up first. Like when the Rays are good, outside of, Caminero, like they don't have overwhelming star power. Okay, when you list their lineup on a sheet of paper, it's not going to scare you. But they play tight, clean, good baseball. And over the years, that's what's made them so good. And I sometimes, guys, I don't like it when either the Blue Jays themselves or fans talking about the team say, oh, it's the Rays magic, the Trop is cursed. If that was the case, the Rays would win every single World Series, okay? The Blue Jays are the problem, not the Rays being a super team in this situation. And for years and years, the Blue Jays would be the team against the Rays to make that first mistake. And sometimes that starts to feel like dark magic and like the world is against you. But last year, the Blue Jays flipped that. They were the team that played airtight baseball. You made the other team blink first. Now it's kind of reverted. You're seeing the Rays play Rays baseball. They're really well coached. They're really well put together. And they just don't shoot themselves in the foot, which is something the Blue Jays have been doing again.
Keegan, in the past, whenever Vladdy's come up, and earlier we were talking about the grace period where people were still remembering the World Series and everyone was still awesome. I think that grace period is over. And in the past, when Vladdy has been the topic of conversation, you used to bring up all the different things that he was doing well, how he was so impactful, his fielding, base hits, extra base hits. It's just not there for him right now. Like, how could you characterize the position that he's in the stretch that he's had through 40 games? Because it's not been good.
No, it hasn't. This is not the version of Vladdy that the Blue Jays need. If Vladdy was on an all-star team right now, if the rest of the Blue Jays were just hitting crazy right now, sure, get on base at a 400 clip, you're hitting 305, that can work, but not when you need to be the star of the show. And Vladdy had better been paying for Kazuma Okamoto's dinner every night right now, guys. Like, if it's not for Okamoto, we are only talking about Vladdy right now. And the Blue Jays would be in a much worse situation. But Okamoto is playing better than I thought we would see him play all year. And it's happening already. Like, Okamoto has been outstanding. He's been their MVP. But that's covered up the complete lack of power from Vladdy. And this lineup, this team is built to succeed with Vladdy hitting for power. They need that to happen because the rest of the lineup's not doing it. If Vladdy was surrounded by Aaron Judges and Cal Raleighs and a bunch of home run hitters, cool, just get on base, whatever. But right now, his stat line looks like a stat line I would expect to see from a speedy, small outfielder. And Vladdy is none of those things. They need him to be the power hitter. They need him to be a guy that breaks games open. They do not need him to be a guy that's hitting singles the other way. Yeah, it's still good, but when you're as talented as Vladdy and when you're making $500 million, you got to be greedy. Like, how good can Vladdy be? It's a heck of a lot better than this, and it matters how he fits this team specifically.
We just saw it. That's the thing, and we've seen it throughout his career. Yeah. What I'm concerned by is, the one thing that used to aggravate myself included, and a lot of people, was, wow, the exit velocity. He's not even doing that right now, Keegan. Like, he's not mashing. He's had a couple here or there where, okay, it's hit into a guy's glove or it's just foul, and he seemed to lean into it. But he looks like genuinely perplexed at the plate, which I have no doubt he will find his way out of. But, 40 games in, he's got 2 home runs and 7 doubles. He's got single-digit extra base hits 40 games into the season. It's absurd.
He's not turning on balls.
Lost. Yeah.
And you're seeing the frustration. Like yesterday, guys, he almost broke a Mother's Day pink bat. I don't know. You got to go back to the dugout and grab a brown one and then break that one off camera, I think.
Right.
But Vladdy's frustration is there. You're seeing it. And he's not turning on pitches. He is not unleashing with that big swing. You know that swing. You know what it looks like when Vladdy turns on a ball and his bat whips all the way around his back and bangs off his left shoulder. You're not seeing that. And part of that is approach. Part of that is mechanical tinkering. And Vladdy is a tinkerer. Absolutely. Like, it's happening often now where I'm walking past the Blue Jays batting cages after a game and Vladdy's in there. For some guys, I look at that and I think, hell yeah. Like, they're getting right back at it. For someone as gifted as Vladdy, I've said this 100 times on here, guys. There are days where Vladdy should just show up at 7:05, stroll onto the field in a pair of blue jeans. I don't care. Just go hit. He is such a gifted individual, like one of the most gifted hitters we have ever seen in Toronto. And when he struggles, it tends to either go one of two ways. Either he tinkers a little bit too much, or he tries to do too much. He tries to hit the big 5-run home run every time. Neither work. You're just not seeing him play that loose, natural brand of baseball right now. And until he does that, the Blue Jays won't go anywhere. They can play 500 baseball without it, sure. They're not going to go on a streak until Vladdy decides it's time.
Just one last one on Vladdy, Keegan. Like, what is the cause of this? Because we were just talking about Aaron Judge, and it seems like he shows up. He might have some blips, but he's always at the top of the league, whether it be home runs, ribby, like all of the categories that he's supposed to be. And Vladdy's supposed to be that guy. Like, let's just cut the BS. Like, what is the cause of this? Did he show up to camp? Was he out of shape? Or was there just too much fun had after the World Series? Like, this shouldn't even be in the equation for what this guy is paid to do. Not even close.
And Judge is a good example, O-Dog, because I hear too much like, oh, they're pitching him differently. I don't care. Okay, do you think Aaron Judge gets meatballs? No chance. Like, every hitter who's hitting 40 or 50 home runs, they're getting pitched around. They're getting pitched differently. It's going to happen to everyone. It happens to Judge constantly. So that can't be the excuse, and I think that's used too often. Vladdy looks the same as he's always looked to me. I don't think pressure impacts him. I really just don't think he has his swing right now. And I think that he is chasing pitches that he should not be chasing. I think he's getting a little out in front of a lot of breaking balls, just trying to do too much. And I understand it to a certain point. You're the $500 million man. The team's not off to a good start. You want to be the guy. But we see it almost every year. Almost once a year, Vladdy goes through this stretch where he does try to do a bit much. And eventually you've got to learn that doesn't work. 110% does not work in baseball. It just doesn't. That extra 10%, it flings around and comes back and smacks you. And I think that's what Vladdy is running into right now. He's just not being himself, which is frustrating because being himself is one of the best hitters in the league. We saw it in the postseason, but I think he's trying to extend outside of that right now.
Quickly, any concerns on Barger?
Yeah, elbows always scare me. Like, I know it's good that John Schneider said today it's not ligament or bone chips or anything. That's good. That's a good start that you're not talking about a UCL. But inflammation, we'll see. I mean, he is capable of doing things other human beings just aren't. Like, no one throws a baseball as hard as the throw you are watching right now. Ideally, this is just a 10, 12-day thing. We'll see. But he's got to get in a groove, man. This lineup needs Barger. Outside of Vladdy and Okamoto, I think Barger's that next guy they really need.
Yeah, I'd throw Kirk in there too, obviously, but we don't know when he's going to return. And Springer, they gave a day off yesterday. He hasn't been himself. There's, like we said earlier, it's not 2025 anymore. They got to get some new stories going, and they got to get some guys hot. And it's a big series with Tampa in town. All right, Keegan, thanks for doing this. We'll do it again soon.
You got it, fellas. Take care.
Keegan Matheson, MLB.com. Yeah, that throw was phenomenal on Saturday, but he comes back for one game and then he's hurt again.
Hose on him, man.
Yeah, he can throw.
Crazy.
He is phenomenal in right field with that arm, but he has not been himself. Like, he really had a poor start and then got injured, like the double ankle injury, and now an elbow injury. It just is snowballing against him, where there was such a level of confidence and optimism in his season. I thought Barger would be great this year. And it keeps going against them.
When you go that deep into a season, Brian, like going to the World Series, like going to the Stanley Cup Finals once, like the prep, like you really have to have a drill sergeant beside you when you wake up every morning to handle that off-season properly. And I'm not blaming that, but sometimes you look at the guys that are not performing, guys getting injured. It's a difficult thing to come back from. You gotta find the right mix of rest and
I don't know. Noodles is yelling about something. Anyway, next hour coming up, Marty Biron will join us. OverDrive continues, TSN 1050 and on TSN 4.
I'll explain.
Why did you leave me?
Why did you betray your own heart?
This is OverDrive with Hayes, Noodles, and the O-Dog on TSN 1050.
Hop on the OverDrive Express, 5 o'clock hour, sprinting to 6 p.m. Brian Hayes, Jamie McLennan, Jeff O'Neill, Noodles. I don't know what you were yelling at there in the previous hour. It was interesting.
Sorry.
Who cares? Let's
move on.
Yeah, we got other stuff to get to.
I'll explain it to you later.
Marty's coming up in a few moments, and we've got to review our picks from earlier this week or last week. We got the Jays in action tonight. Only one game in the NHL, though. One game in the Stanley Cup playoffs tonight. Interesting, the Knicks swept Philly. And, we're talking about Toronto as a sports town and the reaction to the Mitch Marner stuff. And meanwhile, Philly's got this rep as obviously being a great sports town. They just got punked by the Knicks, and all the New York fans took over the building.
Crazy.
On top of it, and Josh Hart was goofing on him afterwards, which is a dangerous game because you're going to have to go into Philly in the future, and they are not going to forget that.
Yeah, but once you do it, though, Hayes, you gotta soak it up, man.
Yes. Well, we have it. Why don't we play what Hart had to say after the game, after the Knicks swept Philly in Philly over the weekend?
Nah, man, because everybody was begging for Philly to not sell their tickets and all that stuff. So, man, I used to think Philly was a sports town. I don't know if it is anymore.
Yikes.
Yeah, you're tough. In one now, man.
Yeah.
Like, it's tongue-in-cheek. He's goofing around, but they are not going to take that lightly.
Well, half the fans sold their tickets to Knicks fans anyways, right? Like
exactly.
I thought Philly was a sports town.
I thought it was a sports town.
Man, it's tough. Like, you know what, though? I thought about it. Isn't there a stat that, correct me if I'm wrong, there's no team in the history of the NBA who's ever come back from 3-0? Is that correct?
Yeah, it's never happened before, no?
Never. So that game was the lock of the century that they were going to get swept.
More or less the lock of the century.
And it was ugly, too.
I think they went by 30 or something. Yeah, it was. That's the weird thing in the NBA. Like, the Lakers are getting pumped, obviously, by Oklahoma City. Right. The Spurs and, T-Wolves are putting up a fight, a really good fight. That series is tied at 2. I kind of feel like the Pistons win tonight and take that series over. But, yeah, I mean, Oklahoma City, the Knicks, they're just kind of running through these teams.
What did you make of Wemby's elbow?
That was a good shot, man.
That
would hurt. Like, he deserved to get what he got.
I like when he was on the bench and he's like, "What happened to me?" And the guy's like, "You're ejected."
Yeah, you're out.
You're gone.
You're out of the game for a blatant, violent elbow to the head.
Yeah.
Like, it was a good shot.
Dude, it's just like a young guy that fights in hockey. I just think that'll do him some favors in the future. You know
agree.
what I mean? Like just to let everybody know that if you want to piss around, maybe you're going to chew on that. It might be costly this time around, but I think long term that might help him out.
I agree.
That was something else, man. And he hit him right on the button too, on the jaw. Like that would have hurt.
It's a great shot. Speaking of young guys, I was a bit surprised. Marty coming up here in a moment on Macklin Celebrini being announced as the captain of Team Canada at the Worlds.
Brilliant move.
Really?
Yeah.
You don't think so?
I
don't think the next Olympics he's going to overtake Connor McDavid or Makar or MacKinnon as the captain. But why not just kind of put him in place as the next guy in line? He's got two guys that have been around the block before, and O'Reilly and Tavares to kind of just – because you don't want to put the kid on an island when he's over there. And it's not like there's going to be some rah-rah speeches, but like he's a kid that's going to lead by example and be the best player on the ice for the most part for that team. But you just insulate him. So he's got support, and there's older guys and that just can relay his message and help him out. I think it's a brilliant idea. I'm assuming you don't like it, Brian.
Well, no, it's not that I don't like it. I do think I don't think it's going to have an impact on if they win or lose.
No,
but
no.
I think it is jumping the line a little bit, like to his credit.
I think it's just showing him how much they think of him at the Olympics and how big of a part of the future he is of Canadian hockey.
Which is, with or without the captaincy, is still a fact. That's my point. It's more so out of respect to, like, 36-year-old Tavares is over there and O'Reilly, and it's like, no, we're going to put you through the ringer. But I think what you're saying, and I would agree with you, is like, hey, get used to it because you are going to be front and center for this program for 20 years.
Right.
That's
which
right.
he is. And the other guys aren't.
I guarantee you that John Tavares and O'Reilly would have been talked to before this, like saying, what do you guys think of this?
Yeah.
And I would bet money they would say it's a great idea and we're more than on board.
Yeah. Well, it is going to – he's the best player on the team. Like,
without question.
With the exception of, like, 3 or 4 guys in the league, he's generally going to be the best player on any team he plays on. All right. Well, let's bring in Marty, get his take on this. Here's Marty Biron, our TSN hockey analyst. Marty, where do you stand on that? 19-year-old kid, Celebrini, anointed the captaincy for Canada at the Worlds.
I think it's a good kind of walk through, like, what can he do at the World Championship? This was in the Olympic years, so, the World Championship sometimes takes a backseat to that. I remember when I played in 03, Ryan Smith, Captain Canada, was our captain, so it was a different era, right? Like, the guys didn't really jump at going to the World Championship. But now with the Olympics and with the World Cups and 4 nations and whatnot, I think more guys want to go, and Celebrini, the captain, I think that's just moving in the right direction.
Yeah, it's a feather in his cap, man. I'll say that. Like it's a testament to what he's done. Like this time last year, he wasn't a lock by any means to be at the Olympics. Right, and then not only did he end up there, he plays with McDavid every shift.
Probably the best player there too, Brian.
Real close to it. Yeah, if he wasn't, like he was, McDavid was great. MacKinnon was good. He was phenomenal, though.
Yeah.
Like he.
You guys think he should have been in the top 3 for the Hart? No, like it's Kucherov, McDavid, MacKinnon, and I've talked to a lot of people that are like Celebrini should have been in the top 3 for the Hart. Without him, the Sharks would have been. I know they pick in second overall because they won the second lottery, but they would have been second overall without him, without the lottery.
Wow.
Right.
Marty, we had, I don't know if you know this, but Brian Hayes is his father.
I'm the president of the fan club.
Yes.
Well,
go ahead, Brian. Explain what your thought process was.
Well, what Marty just said. I mean, the guy had 60 more points than anyone else on his team. They were the worst team in the league by a mile for the previous 2 years. Previous 2 years, and they've grown, they've gotten better, but he was phenomenal, and he's a workhorse, man. He's not. There's nothing cheap in his game, right? He's so good.
Now, let me jump in there quickly, Marty. Too though, we had discussed this on the show several times, and I don't know how you feel, but because his team wasn't a playoff team, did that hurt him? Do you think?
I think it did.
100%.
I think he would have been top 3 if San Jose, maybe even the winner if San Jose makes the playoff. And look, maybe he's fourth. And when we're going to get all the ballots and, all the scoring of all of that, maybe he finishes fourth. I think there was only those 4 guys really to consider. But, I think that if San Jose made the playoffs, he would have won the award. Like, he was the most valuable player to any team in the National Hockey League, but I mean, it's hard to not vote for the other 3 because they were in the playoffs and Celebrini wasn't.
With Marty Biron, something to chew on, brought to you by Boston Pizza, Canada's favorite sports bar. This playoffs, BP is summoning the hockey gods to tilt the ice in Canada's favor. Join us and feast like a hockey god on our new playoff menu. See you for puck drop at your local BP. Perfect guy to ask here. You might be a little bit biased, possibly, but I'm curious where you would stand on this question we've been asking online. Which number 1 center / number 1 defense duo would you take on your team for the next 3 years? Tage Thompson and Rasmus Dahlin, or Lane Hudson and Nick Suzuki? Which duo would you take?
So I saw this on X earlier. I clicked on one of the options, and really right away after I was like, oh no, maybe I would. I'm like really 50-50 on this, because my first thought was Hudson and Suzuki. I mean, Suzuki 101 points, probably a Selke winner this year. The offense, the defense, and then you had Hudson, the puck possession, and what he does on the ice. And I'm like, that would be my pick. And then I'm like, but Thompson will probably score 50 in his career. Dahlin is a top 3 Norris finalist this year. He's got physicality. He's got offense. He's got leadership. So then I'm like, no, I would go Thompson. I don't think they're bigger, right? The two of them together are
they're
bigger.
Both bigger, yep.
Play a heavier game. So I'm like, I want to go to Thompson and Dahlin. I think I'd be very much sitting on the fence and hurting myself in that question because, yes, maybe I'm biased. I watch the Sabres all the time, and I cover the team. I cover the Canadians too and watch them all the time, and I'm very torn.
It's a coin
between
flip.
those two.
We've officially put you in a bind right now where you can't determine. I would lean the Habs. Like, there's something about this Hudson kid that I find fascinating, man. Like,
and don't you think Suzuki too is just getting? He's still getting better every year.
Yes,
he's amazing.
It's funny you say that, and I don't disagree. I would ask Marty this though: why do people want to kill Rasmus Dahlin? Does he cross-check people from behind all the time? Like, it is insane.
Yeah.
Every shift. Yeah. And now, Brad Marchand, Austin Matthews crossed him in the neck, like cross-checked him in the neck. Is he play a bit cheap? Like, what's his, story? Does he – because he takes a piece of somebody, and they're always looking to punch him in the face or get involved with him.
He's thick. And when he hits hard. And there's times where he hits a little bit after the whistle in front of the net, and Brendan Hagel went after him, right? In that 8-7 crazy game, just chased him and started punching from, in the back of his head. I don't think it's anything that he says. I think when you look at Dahlin, he hits you, you look at him, you see a red face, an angry face, and you're like, I'm going to get him. That son of a gun, I'm going to get him back. And then he has the puck, and he kind of kneel and slips by you, and you're like, I'm going to get him somehow. And then it boils you, right? So it's not just the physicality, it's everything else. But he does have a good piece of lumber, like in the back of, your pants or right in the kidney when he's in front of the net. And I think that drives a lot of people crazy, that old school, which he plays with.
Marty, goalie skates out first for their respective teams. For the Buffalo Sabres, what goalie is going to skate out tomorrow night?
I think it's funny because Lindy Ruff last night did not waver. When asked about Lyon, Lyon was great. Maybe our best player. And he was great early in the game. Like, Sabres take a 1-0 lead, but it was Suzuki all alone in front. There was many chances by Caulfield at a wide open net on the power play and missed. Like, Lyon was really good early, but he's given up 9 goals. The Sabres have given up 11 in the last 2 games. I feel you probably have to change and go back to your identity, which was a rotation. I'm not saying you rotate every game, but they did that in the first round. But after game 2, Lindy Ruff said against Boston, he said, hey, the rotation worked well for us. I think he opened the door for everybody to think, well, Lyon's going to come back. I think last night he shut the door on Luukkonen. But I would go to Luukkonen just because I think Luukkonen can steal your game. Luukkonen can give – Montreal's so dynamic. You need a goalie that's going to be explosive. And Lyon is great in his structure. But what we're seeing now is you got to play outside that structure. So I would go to Luukkonen just for that. And I don't think it would be a pressured spot for Luukkonen. Game 1 and 2 against Boston, I think, was more pressure. First time in the playoffs, 15 years, there was nerves. Now it would be, I'm going in. That wasn't even my series. I'm going in trying to salvage something. So I think it would be the perfect spot for Luukkonen.
If you're Carolina right now, which of these two teams would scare you more, Montreal or Buffalo?
Montreal, because Montreal has had Carolina's number all season long. And Buffalo, I don't think Buffalo's won in Carolina in 10 years. Like, they go to Carolina and they cannot win. And obviously the Hurricanes have home ice advantage in the Eastern Conference. So you got to beat them there. So could that change? Yes. Anything can change in the playoffs. But just strictly looking at the record this year and the way that Buffalo played against Carolina and Montreal played against Carolina, I think Montreal gave Carolina fits. Carolina chased Montreal all over the ice in the games that they played against them. where against Buffalo, it was more Carolina dictating the play. There was a game in Carolina where the Sabres, like, they almost dominated, and Brendan Bussey was really good. But still, they can't beat Carolina on the road. So I think Carolina would prefer to play Buffalo. Montreal would give them a little bit more of a challenge the way these teams play against each other.
Yeah, I'm curious what happens, with Colorado on the other side, who had been undefeated prior to the weekend. They swept L.A. They won the first 2 games in Colorado. Like, Carolina is going to lose a game at some point, and how that factors into the way they respond. And I guess I would apply that to how you would expect Colorado to respond. They didn't just get beat. They got beat up. Like, Minnesota showed up and was like, we're not losing this game. Yeah. And I wouldn't be surprised at all if Minnesota won again tonight. But what did you make of them going to – we're talking about goalies and flip-flopping, and Wedgwood was perfect, and now Blackwood's going in tonight.
I don't like what either coach did. I didn't like Gustafsson going in game 2. I get it. It's a 9-6 game 1, and Wallstedt wasn't great. But listen, you just are coming off a very emotional series against Dallas. If you're Minnesota, Wallstedt was fantastic. Game 1 happens. I would have liked to have seen Wallstedt go back in game 2, and then if you have to bring the Gus bus, game 3 at home, you do. But I felt like that was maybe just a waste of a game 2. And I didn't like the goal Natchez scored. I didn't like the goal Ross scored. But whatever. Wallstedt was great in game 3. And I would have gone back to Wedgwood. Now, maybe Bednar is saying, hey, giving an extra break to Wedgwood will allow him to be better late. Maybe Colorado think they're the better team and they're going to win this series. So you can kind of manage your goalies a little bit. I don't think Blackwood should be starting. Wedgwood should have been top 3 Norris, maybe not Norris, Vezina this year. The GM's vote on that, we'll never know which GM voted for what. I think those 3, Shesterkin, Swayman, Vasilevsky, and Sorokin were great choices. But Logan Thompson and Scott Wedgwood could have been in that conversation too. So Wedgwood was fantastic all year. So that's a weird one for Bednar to go to Blackwood for game 4.
So do you think that might be the only thing that could potentially hold back Colorado from, like, do you just see this? I guess the question is, how big a deal do you see this Colorado? It's like the first blip, but is it like a minor concern or major concern for both of you guys, former goaltenders?
It's not a major concern for me. I think Colorado was the best team all year, and they had great goaltending. It wasn't, like stealing you games all the time. They didn't have to. And I think that Colorado's probably hardest series until they get to the finals is right now. I don't think Anaheim or Vegas is going to give the Avalanche a tough, compete in the conference finals if Colorado gets there. I think it's right now. I think this is the hardest series they'll have until whoever they meet in the finals, and Carolina, Montreal, Buffalo, whatever. I don't think it's going to be like what Minnesota can do right now. So they're playing their Stanley Cup right now, possibly for Colorado.
I agree. And plus, let's not forget, like, Wedgwood played 45 games this year. Like, we talked about at the start of the show, Marty. This is a true tandem situation. I like Blackwood. I think Blackwood's a really good goaltender. Wedgwood had a great season. But keep in mind, Wedgwood went on a run, but Blackwood didn't do anything to hurt himself. He just wasn't in the net. So I think at the first sign they got an opportunity to put him in, that's what they're doing. So that was a true tandem situation. They literally split time. Mm-hmm. It's just Wedgwood got on a roll in the first, we'll call it 6 games. So that's the interesting one for me. I disagreed with the Minnesota, what you said, Marty. I would have gone back to Wallstedt, because Minnesota stunk in game 1. They didn't sit Kaprizov out. They didn't sit Boldy and everybody else out who stunk in that game 1. They came right back with those guys, but they sat Wallstedt out. So I think there is a time and place for it. Marty, I just want to follow up quickly. Is Freddie Anderson, is this the best you've seen him play?
Yeah, he's fantastic. And look, I had him on my list last summer, like, teams that are looking for a goalie. Maybe you're looking at Freddie Anderson, and Now the injuries and all of that is a concern, and he did have this year.
Comes out.
Had him on the list.
The old magic list comes out.
Yeah, so did I.
Oh, dog.
I had him on mine, too.
I will show you the receipts. I have text message. I have books. I have everything. I'll show you the receipts. Vladar was on that list. Obviously, he had a great year in Philly, and there's others that maybe weren't on the list and had good years too. But I'm not saying Freddie Anderson I've always liked because of the structure, because of the way that he plays. But the injuries and the fatigue becomes a concern. Well, when you sweep the first 2 rounds and you have all this rest, this is the best that you're going to get out of Freddie Anderson because you don't have to play him every other day. And that's awesome. And in Buffalo, and I'm hearing it in Montreal too, oh, that's just crazy, the schedule maker. They had Carolina and Philly start early. Montreal and Buffalo had to start until Wednesday. They're going to get a week and a half. You know what? Carolina swept both series. You earn those breaks to have that rest if you sweep 2 series in a row. It's not the league's fault. It's the other teams, and Carolina earned their rest.
Yeah, they certainly have, and they're sitting pretty now, waiting. I think Buffalo, Montreal still going 6 or 7 games, and they're in a great position right now. We'll get you out of here with a question on Mitch Marner. Everyone's buzzing about Mitch. He's got 16 points, leading the playoffs in points. He's got 7 in his last 2 games. John Tortorella's talking about the narratives and all this and his history in Toronto. What are you seeing out of Mitch that looks different today as a Golden Knight than maybe what you saw the past 3 or 4 years as a Maple Leaf?
So I love Torts, right? I had Torts in New York and the Rangers. He was actually in Buffalo when I first got drafted here. He coached my brother in Tampa. I love how he focuses on defense first. A player like Mitch Marner and a player like Jack Eichel, look at their production. Eichel's got 12 assists or whatever. Because they're so good defensively, they can handle Torts' system and the positioning, and their skill set just sends them on the offense, and they can create. Like Hurdle is struggling, right? And Hurdle was 20-some games without a goal to finish the season. And now, because Hurdle defensively, it's hard. And he's being asked by Torts to do so much defensively that it takes away his brain to take offensively. But almost where coaches were like, let's let Mitch play offense. Mitch will be the best version of himself when he's so good defensively, and then let the skill kind of take over after that. And I think Tortorella has gotten Eichel, who's a great defensive center, and Marner, who's a great defensive winger or center if he plays there, and it's allowed them to be at their best. And I'll give Tort some credit on that one, but Mitch is looking really, really good right now. And I'm not sure if Vegas is going to beat Anaheim or not. Like, Anaheim is showing up something in the way that they first beat the Oilers, and now they're tied with Vegas.
Marty, just a quick follow-up on that. If your mind is racing and you're constantly chugging and you feel like defensive awareness is sucking energy out of you, you're just not that smart of a player. Our favorite player on this show, at least for 2 of us, is Doug Gilmour, Patrice Bergeron. Mm-hmm. The reason that Mitch Marner can be so responsible defensively and just do everything offensively is because he's smarter than everybody else. Same with those other 2 players I mentioned. You're not that smart if it sucks that much life out of you, and you go back to the bench and say, I'm just focused on defensive responsibility. I have no juice left for offense. If that's your mindset, you're just not that smart a player. It's as easy as that.
There's a lot of players in the league that are not smart. The amount of times that a player has the puck with 2 seconds left at the end of the period and doesn't realize the clock is about to expire. They jumped on the ice 30 seconds ago. Did you not know that the period was ending, or the game was ending, or the guy was coming out of the penalty box? Like, I'm amazed now at looking at some of the players that situation awareness, they have none.
Oh my God.
They're great.
Marty, it's
great
because
skater,
growing
player,
up,
but no situation.
It's because growing up, they're in the McDavid phase where it's just get the plastic sticks out and go around it and try to score a goal. And it's about individual stuff. It's about stats and the actual score clock, the most important thing. It's not even on their mind. You know how many coaches I talk to that are like, we got this kid from junior. He had absolutely no clue about game management, what the scoreboard was, and these guys have no idea. It's
Oh, yeah.
scary stuff. Anyway.
I like how people talk about face-off percentage all the time. You got to win face-offs. You know what? Smart players, if your center lose a face-off, you have as much of a chance to go get the puck back because you're smart and you know exactly what to do if you lose a draw.
Love it. Love it, Marty. Enjoy the game tonight, buddy. We'll do it again soon.
Okay, enjoy the rest of this Habs-Sabres series. It should be fun.
It's going to be great. There's Marty Biron joining us here on the Maple Toyota Hotline. Red Tag Days are here. Check out the Toyota Tacoma and Toyota Tundra pickup trucks, both available as hybrids. Visit Maple Toyota right near Canada's Wonderland in the Maple Auto Mall. Listen, John Tortorella, that's a cool story, too. You know, he's been there for like a month, and they're in the second round tied 2-2.
Yeah, literally been there like 5 weeks.
Yeah, 8 regular season games.
That's why retrospective analysis, like looking back, it's a good move to bring him in. Kelly McCrimmon did not like the way the team was trending, and he sniffed out a first-round kind of drumming or upset, and he said, I'm not going to let it happen. He needed to wake everybody up and get people's attention. They're tied 2-2 now in the second round. We'll see what happens. But looking back on it, it was the right play, regardless of how good a coach Cassidy is.
Yeah. Listen.
And there's going to be other teams that, like Cassidy's going to land here, Laviolette's going to land here soon. And I think there's other teams that are, waiting for this season to either get done or somebody else to get let go, because a lot of teams aren't going to just sit tight, guys. Like there's coaches that need to be hired, obviously, but there's also, I think, incumbent ones that are concerned for their job.
Sure. Well, I mean, Dreg's reporting that Chaika and Sundin met with Berube, I guess, over the weekend. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen there. It feels like it may be trending in the direction that he returns, but I'm not sure how you can conclude that before you if you're Chaika, you've reviewed everything.
Yeah.
Talked to everybody and figured out what you want to do. But who are you going to hire if you move on from Berube?
Well, and keep in mind, now it's been handed to him. As a manager, you only get a couple bullets. That's the other thing, too. Now, he might have had a mandate. Here's your team, but Berube's got 2 years left at something with a 4 in it. Like, you're inheriting him.
Usually when this situation, Jamie, and we've seen it enough, guys, when you've got 2 years left and the last season was a disaster, every scenario is different. Peter Laviolette, I believe after a tough year in Philly, he returned. It was something like 5 games, and it was like you're gone. So you are literally on the clock as soon as training camp starts.
100%.
And if somebody has got a sniff that they don't like what they're seeing, you're in trouble. So it's like first month and a half, it's like, okay, we thought we could change things, and we're not doing this anymore. That's generally what happens in this situation.
Definitely. And it also has to meet expectations, right? Like, do you think you're going to be competitive? Are you trying to be competitive? You know, that is going to factor in as well in terms of what else they do in the offseason and how much of this roster they turn over. All right, Best Bets coming up later in the hour. It is a Monday. I got a new list here. I got a bar play list.
Nice.
Right? I do have a new one.
The kid from Buffalo, number 6, isn't on it. I'm quitting the show.
Well, I mean, they're down 2-1 in the series. It's tough to be there when you're losing, right? Like, it changes a lot here. It changes quickly.
Well, Jakub Dobish has got to be back on that list.
Well, I hear you.
Don't say a thing, but I'm just saying.
You guys are both trying
to. If I don't hear Zach Benson, we have a serious
scores
problem.
a goal in a 6-2 loss, and you think Benson is getting a ton of love?
Well, he's the jam. I love that.
Dude, he's the new.
I like him too.
He's the new Claude Lemieux. He's a great player, and he's got balls.
Yes,
and he works. He's awesome.
All right. Overdrive continues. TSN 1050 and on the TSN app.
Just win. The NBA playoffs presented by MyRocky on TSN.
Now, back to Overdrive with Hayes, Noodles, and the O-Dog.
All right, best bets coming up later in the hour. Jays Rays tonight. Avalanche taking on the Wild. You got the NBA playoffs continuing. We've hit the PGA Championship week up in Philly. Used to be a sports town, right? Used to be a sports town. I don't know if it still is, but hopefully they get out there to check out the PGA Championship this weekend.
Quite a comment. Used to be a sports town.
Yeah. That will sting. That will hurt.
Best. He's going to have to wear that for a long time every time he goes back to that city, but who cares? In the moment, just make him chew on it.
Yeah. Like he swept the Sixers, man. Like the Knicks are in a great spot.
Yeah. So what is the ticket story? That like the Philly fans just said, screw it? Like we don't even want to go to Game 4?
Well, give an example, Brian. Don't you think that would be what's the equivalent? That's Leaf fans going into Ottawa, Leaf fans going into Buffalo type of thing?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think so. And remember before Game 4, maybe before Game 3, the home games, the Sixers, like the ownership, was going to give out 500 free tickets or something to avoid them landing in the hands of Knicks fans. And once they lost Game 3, it was over, right?
Yeah.
Like you just knew it was done. They were going to get pumped Game 4. And New York fans, there's so many New Yorkers. There's so much money there, right? So you can't outprice them. That's the thing. Like, you know, you got people in New York that they'll drop $1,000 for tickets to go down to Philly, won't even flinch.
It's an hour on the train.
Right.
You could literally jump on the train and Penn Station to go right down there. Like it's literally an hour door to door to get right to the rink there. It's crazy.
That's the thing about the northeastern U.S., right? With like New York and Philly and Boston, like there's some great rivalries and great sport markets.
They all are. Everybody in that circle is rivals.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And you know, it's crazy is the Phillies and the Mets have been horrendous when it comes to baseball this year. Like the Mets are continuously awful. Like they're on pace for like 100+ losses this year.
That is crazy.
So like people get New York back, but right now the Knicks are rolling. Overdrive PJ Picks brought to you by TaylorMade. It's time to find your new fast with QI4D drivers. TaylorMade's fastest, most fittable drivers. Learn more at TaylorMadeGolf.ca/QI4D. None of us had Christopher. Is it Rayton? I heard it pronounced so many different times over the weekend. I thought it was Rattan originally, but
-15 though, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He was. Listen, he closed to his credit. He was in the final
group.
group.
Move. He swings exactly like Jake Knapp. If you put the two of them beside each other, like he wouldn't. Like he's just got a great move. Honestly, Hayes, as much golf as I've watched, I've never heard of that guy before.
I've seen him earlier this year on the DP World Tour. He was making some noise over there. Like, that's a real degenerate thing to say, but you know what it's like. You get up on a Saturday morning.
Turkish Open, dude?
Yes, exactly. Saturday morning, you're up with the kids at 7 a.m. They're playing the third round.
I get it. You can toss it on, but I've never heard that guy's name, dude.
Yeah. Well, he barely made it in the tournament. He didn't, like, as of the previous weekend, he wasn't in the tournament. Somehow he got in. So, like, he just made $3.5 million. That's an elevated event.
Dude, what about that smelly old Brandt Snedeker?
He won the one flight.
He won at Myrtle Beach. He's 46 years old.
Awesome. Peter Millar cruising around in G4 shoes. He looks great.
I love it.
Let me ask you guys this. You get up on a Sunday, and you just said, like, something's on. What is the biggest goat track tournament that you just have on in the background? Like name is there one that's just like
dude, you'll see sometimes the women's tour will go through Asia and they'll be playing at somewhere in the Philippines up on a mountain somewhere and you're like, what am I watching?
It's Tamo Shanturn in China.
That's what I mean. They have it on in the background, but it's like where are they playing and what is the field?
The PGA Tour, like later in the season, the big boys will be playing, and they're at some goat ranch in Louisiana, and you're like, I'm watching it.
The Champions Tour, same thing, right? Like, how about your boy Boo Weekley won this weekend on the Champions Tour? He rolled
Stinky
in a
old Boo with his giant pants and his little pot belly wheeling around.
Yes. They will play some tracks, Noodles, that are test dummies, effectively. they'll end up in states that have never hosted a tournament.
Dude, I love
before.
the senior tour right now. There's just some recognizable faces, and it's getting like it's guys our age that are going out.
Well, that's it, right?
Dude,
Justin
Zach
Leonard
Johnson's out there.
Zach Johnson's on fire out there.
Yeah,
absolutely. Overdrive PGA Picks brought to you by TaylorMade. It's time to find your new fast with QI4D drivers. TaylorMade's fastest, most fittable drivers. Learn more at TaylorMadeGolf.ca/QI4D. All right, I've got my, what are we calling this, B-listing bar playlist?
Yeah, B-listing.
Yeah. Now, again, the rhyme and reason for a lot of this, I do live in the moment. A lot of it is like what has literally happened in the last couple of days. Because there are certain
recency bias.
Yeah, and you've got to be with an eye on the larger picture. Go ahead, Noodles.
I got one. I think you put Mac and Celebrini on it.
No, I don't have Celebrini. He's not even in the playoffs.
I'm just saying. I thought
that guy with
that's
the
an
jersey
thought,
on,
though.
the Canada jersey on with the C on it, walking into a bar, and where are they? Czechia?
Yeah, they're in Europe.
I'm just telling you right now. I thought, okay, maybe given this past week,
interesting.
This guy walks into a bar.
There was Swiss Alps. The Swiss Alps with a Canada captain jersey on.
With the mullet on.
Just, I don't know.
It's a good thought. I did not go in that direction, but it's a very good point. I do think that will be significant bar play.
Hit me with number 5.
Number 5, I got Alex Newhook back on the list.
Yeah.
I got Newhook. Dude,
Deserves
I had him after Game 7. He scored the winner in Game 7. This guy is having one of those runs where people are going to remember this guy's name. And he's been with them for a couple of years.
Yeah.
There was a 10th overall pick, and he was kind of like the Kirby Doc acquisition, same timing.
Yeah, they plucked him out of Colorado after they won the Cup.
Yeah, let's take a run on a guy that's run out of steam in a different market that was a high pick. And, he's had some injury problems since he's been a Hab, like Kirby Doc. But I thought he was good, really good again yesterday.
Great. Great.
Really good. So I got Newhook at 5. This is one that could be higher up the list, and it's not pettiness. It's that they lost. I got Mitch Marner at 4. I got Marner at 4. Like, Marner is high.
I'm sorry. He's leading the playoffs in scoring.
I understand that. But it's tough to move up. He's already been on the bar play list, right? There's no bias against it.
You are a hater.
They just lost. He had 3 assists in the game. He played well, but they lost the game. They're tied 2-2.
I think Gavin McKenna made your list.
No, I'm not going outside of the. I'm not outside
He's
of
sticking.
the playoffs.
This is strictly Stanley Cup playoffs.
But I like the way you're thinking,
enough.
Noodles.
That's
McKenna,
what I'm trying to think of. Like outside the list, you're looking at Celebrini. You're looking at McKenna. These guys are the young.
McKenna's an interesting one.
Anyways, but sorry to interrupt your list. But
you know what?
Marner
Thursday.
Yeah.
We're gonna do hazy B listing, and we're gonna pair it with Noodles outside the box.
I like that idea.
Let's think outside the box.
Hazy,
patio listing with Noodles.
Yes,
you stay in the moment with the NHL playoffs for B listing, and then Joe from the Bridge is going to put them side by side. Noodles is going to go outside the box. It could be a guy in the news. It could be Gavin McKenna. It could be anybody. So that's what we're going to do Thursday.
Fair enough, Fred. I'm overthinking it.
But I think I like where you're going. I mean, I do. I think I've reached a point. I know it's been like 4 days. Where it would be a shock if they didn't take McKenna first overall.
I don't think it would be a shock. I think that he's the number 1 rated player. But if you've looked at the last 10 years with the hyper focus on ultra skill, and this Stenberg, I think, is a more well-rounded player. Mm-hmm. And unless the separation from Gavin McKenna to Stenberg is so substantial that you're just like, this is a no-brainer, I don't know if it is. So why not try to do something different or at least look at it different?
Sure.
You've got to contemplate the idea.
I played in the minors with McKenna's coach at Penn State. Should we try and have him on and see?
Call. Great call.
Should we have him on just to see, how he measured up against men the second half of the season?
Great call.
Like Tom Barrasso, we'd like to have only NHLers on this show, but we'll think about it.
Guy Godowski, unbelievable human, unbelievable coach. And Penn State's coach, can you imagine being the coach of a school like that?
A D1 team, that would be really cool.
Unbelievable. But, maybe, I don't know. I'm just thinking outside
I like that
the box.
idea. I think that's worth doing. And listen, you're right that, due diligence and all that, and I get it. And he had a slower start last year, and he's slim, and he's a winger. this guy, he's a classic example of a kid we've heard of since he was like 10 that just – like, if he was in the WHL last year, he would have had 180 points.
Yeah, we would have been talking about the next wonder kid.
Yeah, like he's not McDavid, he's not Sid, but it's no different than Bedard or Tavares or, that's kind of the world that I see him in, where those guys, they're great pros. They're great players, and, are they all-time greats? Maybe not, but they're still really good players that I think are worthy of a first overall
players
pick.
that you need right now. This is exactly what the Toronto Maple Leafs need. Is a shot in the arm of young prospect.
Right.
And this is arguably the best young one available, and you're going to get him. Yes, Stenberg, I know there's other players
other
there.
Defensemen, possibly. Maybe
I get it, but
Malholtra's kid.
There's no downside.
No, I'm with you. All right, continue with the bar playlist. Number 3, I got Quinn Hughes on there. I got Quinn Hughes. I don't know if he's in Minneapolis or St. Paul, where the hell he is. But I thought he was dancing the other day. I mean,
he was.
He obviously, they needed that. He had an assist and a goal. I think he had points on the first 2 goals to get them on the board.
That wrister, though, is just like the footwork, that like the thrusting into that wrister. It's like that's just as good as it
gets.
He's
nasty.
Man.
He's nasty.
Yeah.
Number 2, I got Lane Hudson. Hudson. That move he made last night to put it on a tee for Caulfield.
Yeah.
That is gross. In the Bell Center, they could feel it coming. Like when he made the one guy bite on the Sabres. And
I know, but do you know how many guys, Hayes? I mean, you were a defenseman. You probably would have made that one move, and now you're like, now's my time to shine.
I'm shooting that every day of the week.
So the extra patience on top is like one of his separators, where he can have the patience and the wherewithal to take that extra second, delay, and then, like, at risk of everyone booing him, and he just put it on a tee for Caulfield in the open net.
And you can speak to this, although I think we've disagreed on this. If he passes that to a guy in the 4th line, there's a chance the guy misses the empty net.
Yes.
Caulfield hit it, but he hit it on the left side. Like, he looked almost like he's like, I got it, but, man, I wasn't sure that puck was coming.
But it's almost like those guys are so smart. Well, first of all, he knew he was on the power play, so no 4th line stiff would be out there.
Of course not. Yes.
So if a stiff's out there, those guys just know who's there.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
no, and
Ronnie Francis,
Ronnie
Francis was never passing it back to some stiff on the point. It just wasn't happening.
Understand.
You never get it back.
Number 2, Lane Hudson. Number 1, I got Freddie Anderson. I got Freddie on there. I mean, the guy's been perfect. He's been perfect. And, like, he's made some really good saves. It was kind of wild, like, checking in on that series, and that's kind of what that series was about. And it'd be like, 24-8, the shots in the 3rd period. Like Philly just never looked like they had a shot. They never and Carolina has mastered the ability of performing with no pulse in a low-scoring, tight game. Like, they just love to win 2-1 and 3-2, and they're 8-0 now. They haven't given up more than 2 goals in a game.
It's impressive.
It's incredible what they're doing.
Really impressive what they're doing. Just this is where they get to every year. This is where I think their playoffs start. I don't know how you feel, but this is where they get to every year. It seems like Money in the Bank.
It's almost like
Conference
this is
final.
a given. Yeah.
Right. This is the given. Now, what do you have? Are you going to be pressed? Like, I think that's.
And I've told you guys, I've said it 2 or 3 times. I think whoever they get out of these 2 teams, they're going to smoke them too. And all due respect to Montreal and Buffalo.
I don't think they're smoking Montreal if they play them. I don't.
500.
Fine. Well, I mean, we'll get there when we get there. I had Montreal beating Buffalo. You were certain the Sabres would beat them. It's 2-1. It's not over yet, but Montreal's and Buffalo, they're good teams.
Our buddy, Mitch Gallo, had a poll question today.
I think Mitch was being sarcastic.
He might have been, but he said, "Tell me, fans, is the series over?" I said, "Mitchy, slow down a little."
That's
Listen,
a bit
you've
rich.
been chirping on Twitter. You chirped Wolf Blitzer yesterday.
I just said Wolfie every year. It's
Blitzer.
a different.
Blitzer,
Wolfie
this guy, we
posted
gotta
a
pull up
pic in a
his tweet.
Buffalo Sabres jersey.
He's from Buffalo, Wolf
Dude,
Blitzer.
I said, Wolfie, you change jerseys every year. It's
Literally
the Capitals.
He chirped Wolf Blitzer on Twitter last night.
I just said Wolfie every year. It's a different jersey.
Does that guy have the coolest name ever?
Wolf.
Wolf Blitzer.
What's his real
Imagine
name?
in his
though?
heyday when he was like a 10 out of 10 walking into a bar, and what's your name? Wolf.
Wolf Blitzer.
That's his nickname.
I'm going to look it up right now.
Rick. It's probably Rick.
I'm looking it up. No, it's Wolf Isaac Blitzer. That's his real
guy's
handle.
name on his passport says Wolf.
He's
that's
born
his
in Germany,
Wikipedia
actually.
page. They could probably change it.
Yeah, went to the University of Buffalo. Like, what a legend, man.
So he's a legitimate Sabres fan, and O goes, "You change jerseys every year, Wolfie."
Lays into Wolf.
Did you call him Wolfie too?
Yeah, I did. I called him Wolfie.
That guy has done the exact same broadcast every day for 40 years.
Dude,
it's the same thing. It's money every time, but it's the exact same approach.
I was
every
dying
time.
laughing when I saw that last night.
Wolf Blitzer.
Wolfie.
All right, best bets coming up. There
Look
it
at
is,
this guy.
Mr. Sabre.
Yeah, last year it was a Caps jersey. Get serious, Wolfie.
Wolf Blitzer. OverDrive continues up on YouTube Live.
The PGA Championship on TSN and TSN Plus. Now, back to OverDrive with Hayes, Noodles, and the O-Dog.
Fan wrote in a good idea for the second part of B-listing on Thursday.
Yeah.
It's not going to be outside the box. It's going to be outside the crease.
Oh.
Interesting.
So there's B-listing, and it's going to be paired by outside of the crease. Just going bebopping around the world. It might be outside of the game.
I like it.
I love it.
I like it a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's coming up later this week, and we got a lot cooking this week. We're looking forward to it. The Jays are in action tonight. Obviously, we've got one game in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Best Bets powered by FanDuel. Make your picks and assemble a same-game parlay in seconds on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. You get plus 120 on Mini at home tonight. I'm taking the Wild this evening. I'm taking Minnesota.
I love it.
I think Mini. I think what Marty was saying earlier is right. Like, this could be the Cup final for Colorado. Mini's too good of a team, man. I think they hold on to home ice here.
Yeah.
And you go back to Colorado, and then the series really begins. Best 2 out of 3 between two monsters.
Must win, though, too. Right?
I totally agree. Yeah, but I think, like, Kaprizov's been good. Boldy, Quinn Hughes. I think their big boys show up to play tonight, and I think it's like an old-school throwback great playoff hockey game tonight. Best Bets powered by FanDuel. Same-game parlays available for every Stanley Cup playoff game on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Please play responsibly, 19+, physically located in Ontario. Jays Rays tonight as well. So, we'll see what the Jays have in store this evening. A couple of NBA playoff games. We'll see if this is it for LeBron and the Lakers, right? Is this the last time we see LeBron play as a Laker?
Dude, I think that's enough, man. I think it's enough, period. All of it. It's like
so.
Could be. He's getting into golf now too. I think he's got other priorities.
You're not putting a team or you're not winning. So just
Luka's been hurt. Like, it's a miracle they're even in the second round, to be honest. But anyway, good stuff. All right, thanks to everyone behind the scenes for helping out today. We appreciate it. Everyone for tuning in today. TV, radio, podcast, web, and of course up on YouTube Live. We're out of here. Enjoy your evenings. Enjoy the games tonight. We're back tomorrow at.
You got to find the right mix. 4 p.m.
We'll chat then.
Sabres and Canadiens from the mothership. And Tage Thompson's on the board. 53 seconds in.